Corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. Playing a high drive into left. Back goes the Craig. He's at the track. He has it. And the Cardinals world champion for 2011. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
This is the Team of Rivals podcast. No insiders, no anonymous sources, just passionate analysis from the bleacher seats. Here are your hosts, Ron, Pete, and Elliott.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the show this week. Busy night so far for us. Cardinals coming off of an 8-game winning streak, down right now, currently 5-4 to the Nationals, but the streak had to end at some point in time. The Cubs have managed to, for the most part, stay afloat, stay on top of the division, and they're waiting on some key guys to return. So let's break all of that down. We got a special guest we're going to welcome on tonight. But gentlemen, how are you doing this week?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm salty.
And we're going to get into Pete's saltiness. And as long as nobody mentions the San Diego Padres tonight, I'm going to be fine. Son of a bitch!
Already. You did it to yourself, Ron.
Guy did it on the last show. He mentioned it. And, guys, here's the thing. I'm driving to work this morning. I'm like, oh, no.
Already.
Jeez.
This is Mark Littell. I think he's butt dialing me. Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what his butt has to say.
This is Ron. Mark, you don't know you're calling me, do you? But you're going to hear that. But should I leave my voicemail later?
Mark, you're live on YouTube. Or at least your ass.
Hold on. Might be a fix to
Good
this.
enough of you. That's all that is.
Mark, he has no idea. This is all right. This is the second time he's done that since he left the show.
Nice.
Yeah, he has no idea. All right, so he's calling back. Hello, welcome to Team of Rivals podcast.
I think we need to take callers.
We should have Brecklyn actually answer that next time.
There you go. I do it.
All right. Well, I don't think he knows he's doing it. But anyway, that's funny. So I'm driving to work this morning, and I know I'm not supposed to be looking at my phone, but sometimes we get caught in traffic. You're sitting there, and I'm looking at MLB top 5 stories, and I see Shohei Ohtani is throwing in the outfield.
Yes, and
Okay.
covering the big news.
Exactly right. And I look down, and I see where he was at, and it says San Diego right below that. What makes a better story than San Diego, the most uninteresting team ever to exist? I mean, ever. What's been the most useful? I asked you guys this. Elliott, you kind of answered. Pete, you ignored it. But what's been the most useless athlete that's ever occupied space in San Diego? It has to be. You have to be a throw up right now. It's either Shohei Ohtani or it's Ryan Leaf.
No, it's Ryan Leaf.
Ignore space time. Which one's more useless?
It's Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf.
No, he's more entertaining than Shohei Ohtani. I guarantee you that. He stole his aunt's Percocet. He's in jail now. That's way more
in jail again.
At least Ohtani's hit
I
people home runs.
I think he's sober.
Is he out?
You're slandering.
Oh, I shouldn't do that. You're right. I shouldn't do that. He's
slandering a recovering addict's name.
and I'm sure he's watching tonight.
You never know.
Doubtful. Guys, so
He could be part of our growing San Diego fan base.
That's right. Because I'm sure
San
they love
Diego,
us.
The San Diego Rule
San
5
Diego.
are big.
They hate
Team
us.
Rivals.
They hate us. They hate us because they hate me.
Can you blame them?
Hang on. Switching up.
This is making for fascinating audio.
I know. Well, I did it so I could hear him. Otherwise, I can't hear him. But he has no idea he's calling us. I really wanted him to pick the phone up. Should I just call him back?
I would.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. He was generous with his time. He was on the whole time. I didn't expect him to be. All right, guys. Let's talk a little bit of Cubs, if you don't mind, just to begin, because I know that Pete, you had some you had some issues with Bleacher Nation. With I thought you guys were like a love affair there, but I'm wrong.
What made you think that?
Look, we follow them. You generally, like, up to this point, it's been pretty positive interaction. I mean, you and them. So I'm surprised to see. It's like trouble in paradise there with.
Apparently,
is this where your little saltiness comes from this week?
No. The saltiness
it's
is far before that. No, apparently Bert doesn't like to be called out for his excessive optimism. I mean, that was it. Sahadev Sharma wrote a terrific piece earlier this week, and all I did was retweet it and say, "See, Bert, it's not that hard." The last paragraph of his piece was perfect. He says, team meetings are switch flipping. Something needs to be done because whatever's happening on the field for the Cubs of late isn't acceptable. This team is perfectly capable of putting Tuesday's bad loss behind it and taking off on a long stretch of great play. But that's been said for a while now. Over and over again, the offense has proven to be nothing but inconsistent. At some point, one has to wonder if they'll ever develop the reliable offense so many expected to be the trademark of what is supposed to be the best team in the NL. It's not that hard to write. It's not that hard to say, hey, you know what? Maybe the Cubs aren't as great as we thought. And Bert didn't like me, intimating that maybe he's a little Pollyanna-ish when it comes to the Cubs. He's always looking on the bright side, which I appreciate. But there come certain points when you have to take a hard look at your team and say, Joe, why the fuck are you batting Albert Almora Jr. and Tommy LaStella fifth?
Yes.
I mean,
I had the same question the other night.
When you put those two guys in the 5-hole, you are not trying to win the game.
When Pete's not happy, you see spit flying all over that microphone. That's my favorite moment. That's some of my favorite moments of this show.
And I'm getting sick, so this thing's going to have to be disinfected, even though I'm the only person who talks into it.
Well, you don't lick the microphone before every show like Yasiel Puig does his bat, do you? I mean, you shouldn't have to wash that microphone. It's fine. What happened to your pop filter, by the way? Did he freeze?
No, he didn't freeze.
Oh,
why'd you just? He didn't dignify a response to your do I or do I not lick the microphone before every show?
I just wanted you to say I do. I was fishing. I was going out. I was going for it there. All right.
You can assume by my silence the answer.
Yeah. I want to welcome onto the show Brecklyn Carey. Brecklyn, every time I play your name in my head, I say Kennedy because I served with a person in the Air Force. Her name is Brecklyn Kennedy, so I'm probably going to screw it up. But Brecklyn Carey from Birds on the Black, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge fan of Chris Lawless of Cardinals Nation. You're one of our admin now. We're so thrilled that we're all kind of tied together in this thing, and Team Rivals is part of that Cardinals Nation Facebook group too. So welcome onto the show, and I would like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for Birds on the Black.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on here. I'm really glad I could trick you guys into letting me steal some of your time. But I'm glad that got a giggle. But when it comes to Birds on the Black, I'm kind of the person that makes sure everything gets up on our Facebook, up on our Instagram, and kind of make sure that our content is getting out on those platforms, which, like what you said, it's really great working with you and Chris Lawless for the Cardinals Nation Facebook group on there. That's been really fun. But yeah, any content that's going out with Kyle Reese's Prospects After Dark, any articles that come out, Tara Wellman's about last night, just all this beautiful content, I want to make sure it's getting to as many people as we possibly can. So that's kind of my role. I just kind of sit back and share everything.
Well, anytime you say Kyle Reese's name, you're going to hear, never mind.
Oh, Ron.
I tell you, man, it's this app. It's not me.
Oh, no.
Never will be, right?
No.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's James Brown. That's the wrong thing.
No.
Brecklyn, you know what that sound is?
No.
You want to tell me what it is?
No, I want you to try to guess.
I don't think that's
It's Kyle Reese, but guess what he's doing?
No.
Seducing you.
No.
That's Kyle Reese biting into a sandwich.
No.
Why do you have that?
I just thought it was a
Ron
great
saved
soundbite.
really odd audio clips.
Everybody's just slapping it back and forth. Oh, God, when did I say that?
You don't remember that?
Yes, I do. I said it, last week?
No, this was about a month ago.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, I'm glad you kept all that.
You're welcome.
What was that in reference to? Because that's out of context. Everybody's slapping it back and forth. What the hell was I talking about?
You were talking about hockey not being entertaining.
Yeah.
Which is wrong, but you know.
Well, no. I mean, I love. There's nothing better actually than a live hockey game. I'm a huge fan of that. It's just when they get stuck at center ice for like 2/3 of the game, I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is minor league hockey. Anyway, can we talk about baseball now?
Let's go.
If you guys are okay with that.
Stopped us.
Yeah, it almost took us an hour last week.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Oh man, that was
a great show.
I mean, it was so fun, but I mean, Jesus, we didn't talk about baseball for like a half an hour.
Hey, I warned people on Twitter and Facebook.
I know you did. You did a good job disclaiming that, which I'm thankful for. Brecklyn, I want to get your opinion now on the Cardinals play recently. So they 8 wins in a row. Wow, what a contrast that we saw from the first half of July, right? Even into the 3rd or 4th week of July, we were wondering what the hell. I mean, thinking that this might be the first time we see them tear it down. It seems like they're not going down that path anymore. It took promoting a few guys. Really, this has been a lot of change from within, even when you boil it down to the manager. I mean, they've went outside for very little, guys. But I want to get Brecklyn's opinion on this. What have you been seeing, and what's you have your thumb on the pulse of the Birds on the Black community. So what are you hearing?
Well, kind of talking my personal opinion first, but a lot of it is some of the cultural changes that have happened. I mean, you can talk to your blue in the face about all the things that happened whenever we got rid of Mike Matheny, which, best of luck in his future endeavors. But personally, I'm glad that he's not the manager anymore. But there's a new spark that's there. And I think that's a lot that people are noticing is that spark. And it's more than just Matt Carpenter coming out of his slump. I mean, you can kind of see it in the players. It looks like they're having more fun. And when you have that kind of culture, I mean, I know that a lot of people over at Birds on the Black and different things like that, whenever Schultz started sticking up for the players, one of the first few games whenever Schultz was a manager and Harrison Bader, I think it was, got hurt. And instead of keeping him into the game, they're like, nope, back to the bench. We're going to bring somebody else in. I mean, it's just a completely different feeling that you have now whenever you're watching this team. And yeah, we called up a bunch of new guys, and I think that's a really special moment whenever you're watching people like these prospects. I mean, if I say Kyle Reese, are you going to play him biting that sandwich again? He talks about these prospects. So especially for our community, whenever you hear these names over and over again, and then to see them make it into the big leagues, that's a big moment. Lots of people were rooting for Hudson and Ponce de Leon and stuff like that. And so to be able to see them get that chance, there's just magic that's happening with this team that goes beyond this salsa thing.
Speaking of salsa, I want to ask you guys, this might be just a psychological, philosophical question here. I mean, a person can only have a garden so big in their own yard, like unless you're like a 4 or 5 acre, right? Pete, you're pretty good at this kind of stuff. If he does this every day, I mean, what are the chances of him running out? And is it as simple as going to the store and buying a jar of salsa? Is that going to be a substitute, or is it going to is everything all bets are off at that point?
He's clearly importing illicit ingredients south of the border.
Performance enhancing salsa, PES. Like that's what's happening.
I have to say, when I got home tonight, I was very tempted to prepare myself a bowl of chips and salsa, but nah.
There's nothing better. I mean, guys. I mean, when that's the first.
Lately,
when that's a free when that's a free appetizer, though. I mean, is it ever bad?
I haven't had salsa in the last 10 days.
Wow.
I had some tonight. I make it on the regular. So.
Do you make it or do you buy it?
No, I make it. I would never.
You have kind of the chef thing in your family, though.
Yeah, my brother is an executive chef. So
where?
Carrabba's.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that place we went to, Pete?
Which one?
Excellent blind date you set me up on like 15 years ago. Your wife. I'm sorry,
I didn't set you up. Oh, you mean Wrigley Field?
Yeah. What was that? Barbariba.
Oh,
sorry.
Cafe Barbariba.
Yeah,
oh, that place is good. I've eaten there.
Yeah, I hate it.
Tell you what, Elliott, when you move down here, we'll meet up for beers and I'll tell you the story of Barbariba.
Okay.
It's the worst thing ever.
I think we've told this story on here early on.
We told it after, but we never published it. Yeah, that was.
Was that the lost episode?
We've had a few lost episodes for other reasons that I've never been able to publish. But anyway, I want to just go on to a little bit about the Cardinals right now. And Brecklyn, we were talking about this on the show prior to this, that yes, Mike Matheny is gone. Yes, it can be natural if you're a media personality or you're a writer, and it's I think it's pretty obvious you're going to contrast the success of this current club as it is right now in its current state. You're going to contrast it to where it was more than a month ago. But I have, and I listen to Bernie Miklasz quite often, his podcast, because it's on local radio, ESPN 101, I think in St. Louis area, but they put it on a podcast. So it usually comes out about lunchtime, my time, and I listen to it on the ride home. Generally, I choose to listen to his because he's got his thumb on the pulse of everything around the St. Louis area in sports. I don't always agree with him, but this guy cannot go out of his way to every day bring up Mike Matheny's name and how much better it is now. Now, I too agree that a change was needed. I'm glad they made the change. I can argue all day long that they made it too late, but it is what it is. I'm kind of like in the state now. I'm just moving on. I'm enjoying what they're doing right now. I don't have to go back and compare it to Mike Matheny's reign, but Bernie's just doing it every day. Being exposed to the group like you are, we still see this in articles that people publish. How do you feel about that? I mean, are you ready to move on from this and like enjoy what they're doing now and move forward, or where are you at?
I personally think it's really important to be able to look not just like what you were saying from a few months ago into what's happening now, but to be able to look from week to week, from series to series. And yeah, like what you're saying, I'm excited for us to kind of put that in the past, because if we look at just where we were in the past, we wouldn't think of where we are right now. Nobody would have guessed that this is the position that we would be in. I mean, you can look back at all the people wanting to trade Matt Carpenter before. Where are those people now? I mean, at some point, you're right. Those discussions get exhausting. And I really like being able to look at being able to see where those changes came from. I mean, with the new hitting coach and the new batting coach, but also just, from the Cubs series on, and then from this series and the next one. I think you're right. I'm excited to be able to move on, and where it's just the Cardinals that we are right now and what we can continue doing moving forward.
Yeah, guys, I want to ask you the same, similar question, slightly different. Your feeling being on the outside, being Cubs fans, the Cardinals have made a managerial change. Pete, you alluded this a little bit when they did make one, that you're like, oh, great. Now another club has made an inspired managerial change midseason, and we got to deal with this now. So I kind of snickered when you put that out there, but I think that you're actually you were onto it. I mean, you had a feeling or a suspicion that something like this would happen, that a team would eventually get on a roll, because they've made not just a managerial change, but they've made a lot of roster change. They've remade their bullpen. They've done a lot of this from within. Brought two names from the outside. One's back down in Memphis. Over all the deadline moves and everything else they've done, they've got two guys in the club now that have been brought in externally. Neither are huge. We didn't bring in a Manny Machado, but here we are. What's your perspective on all this?
I think had the Cardinals not started so far down, this would be scarier. Every team, I was thinking about this actually as I was walking around today, every team gets on a hot streak during some point in the season.
Chances are,
it's at least worth a damn.
Yeah.
And this is the Cardinals hot streak. How long is it going to last? Who knows? It's probably not going to last until the end of the season, right? That they're just going to continue winning. And so had they started closer, this would have been really intimidating. This would have been really daunting, because, the Cubs are scuffling along. They're, I think, after tonight, 15-12 since the All-Star break. Thankfully, the Cardinals started far enough back that, while they certainly have been playing extremely well of late, I think it's going to take a pretty superhuman effort by them. And the Cubs are, I think, going to have to play below 500 for the Cards to threaten the Cubs' place in the playoffs. Still, that having been said, I mean, what they've done over the last, you can't ignore what they've done over the last month. It's been, nothing short of impressive.
Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of Schilt coming in and taking over bringing in kind of a new culture. It's Matt Carpenter's unreal hot streak right now that's really driving this Cardinals team. I mean, he has been the catalyst, which has taken them kind of to the next level. And a lot of these, you kind of see these other players kind of rising to the occasion now and playing a little bit above board than they have been all season. I mean, that the big thing that a lot of Cardinals fans have been saying is these guys just you didn't feel like they were playing with heart, and you didn't feel like they were playing together as a team probably because of the toxic, clubhouse that they had. So now that the changes have been made, now that some of these new guys have been brought up, you got Tommy Pham going out, which there was a lot of people. Yeah.
Brecklyn, were you a Tommy Pham fan?
I was hardcore Tommy Pham. I was so sad, but it also made a lot of sense. So
yeah,
it's like me having an argument with myself.
I do that every morning on the way to work.
And then, as much as I hate to say this, and then Dexter getting hurt and taking him because he was being kind of played because you had to play him, and it's unfortunate.
Well, it's
unfortunate that having this bad of year, but it's kind of been a combination of all of that, and then the team kind of coming together after the firing of Mike Matheny.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. You mentioned Fowler's name there, and you guys know how I felt about him. And I've been at war with a small faction of Cardinal fans that I have no problem with them attacking his performance, not a problem at all. But when they get personal with it, you guys know we did a show on this, right?
Oh, it's awful. It's uncalled for.
Him personally, I can't stand it, But with that aside, I mean, when Schilt took over, he gave Fowler a lot. He gave him a lot of starts, and he was trying to all right, the only way he's going to fix himself is he gets out there. So he had that, but he got hurt eventually. And now you've got a guy like Brecklyn. I want to ask you about this. I mean, you mentioned Matt Carpenter, but I mean Harrison Bader. My goodness, steady playing time, and I won't stop at Bader. I mean Wong now with not being worried about having a good game and then sitting the next two. I mean he's had steady starts now at second base. Wong is improving. He's getting better. Harrison Bader he's fun to watch. This team a month ago, 6 weeks ago, if I just be real simple about it, not getting analytical or anything, they just weren't fun to watch.
Yeah.
They weren't fun. The cameras panned over to the dugout. Yeah, if they happen to hit a home run, there'd be a conga line. But other than that, I got sick of seeing the view over there. I didn't want to see it.
I don't know. It was fun for me.
Well, sure it was. Sure it was. But, I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, the Cardinals, I think the biggest change right now that I've seen, and guys, I'll say this about my trip to Wrigley up there with you, Pete. Almost instantly, I felt like, okay, now we have a manager in the dugout that can't be outmaneuvered as easily, right? He's still a first-time manager in the big leagues. So he's going into Chicago, enemy territory, #1 right now. The road to the Central goes through Chicago. But I felt way more confident going up there going, well, I have a feeling this guy here, because I've read and heard enough about him, he probably can't trick him as easily as you could the other guy. So I had a lot more confidence that weekend, and I see it right now. Of course, they're not going to win 8 games in a row this often, but I'm enjoying watching this team again, and I haven't felt this way about the team for probably 3 years.
If I may, kind of going off of that, I mean, I feel like under the previous management, that was the thing that you were worrying about just about every game, about the double switches, what was going to happen, and just what decision is going to be made that's not in the best interest of the team. With this, I'm not thinking about the manager the entire game, and it's my thought that you shouldn't be thinking about the manager the entire time.
Right, yeah.
Something may happen where you're like, oh, I may not have done that, but even with this, like now I have the confidence, like, oh, I wonder why he did that. You wait and you see. You don't immediately think, oh my gosh, what's he doing? And you were bringing up Colton Wong and Harrison Bader, which Harrison Bader's creeping in on my heart. I don't normally go for blondes, but He's,
Yeah.
And with Colton Wong, actually, Tara Woolman just posted a story not too long ago, which of course we found it.
She's a big Wong person, though.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Her big thing.
Ron,
her thing was basically.
I know that didn't come out right.
Oh my gosh.
I know, Pete. I know that's what you're going to say. I'm sorry. It didn't sound right.
But if you want to see some statistics on Colton, you should go and give that story a read because he's really turned around a lot of things. And I'm excited for him. I think he's a really coachable player. I think he's got a lot of energy. And he was somebody that, your eyes just kind of glanced over before. But defensively, he's great. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of things where it's kind of like the team's being awakened. Like you said, it's not just a conga line anymore. There is an energy on the field that just wasn't there before.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, I know you're enjoying that. That's why you sat back from the mic. You're basking in it. I know you saved the clip already. You see what happens. you are welcome. Yeah. My apologies, Tara. I didn't mean for that to sound that way. That was an honest slip, a Freudian slip, maybe. What else we got? What else do we got, guys? I mean, I sent you a hit list here, Pete, last night, and I don't remember what I sent.
You did?
Are you that frazzled?
Yeah, I'm replaying my own soundbite in my head. I'm like, what in the F were you thinking?
Oh.
Ron gets embarrassed easily.
Really?
Oh,
not really.
Question.
I think
I
his
have a
cheeks are the
question
same
for
color
you
of his
guys.
hat.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is going to start being a Cardinals question, but then I also want to extend it to our Cubs fans who are sitting there. But how do you think, or what do you think about this starting pitching situation that we have? When we get to the Cubs right now, I mean, I don't know how Lester did tonight because I wasn't able to watch too much of it.
It's good.
He was good tonight?
Yeah.
6 innings, no runs, no walks.
Wow.
9 strikeouts.
Yeah. He actually pitched well for one of the first times all season.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is he trying to make up for everything else that he's done?
Well, and then you have back-to-back great pitching. You had Hendricks figuring it out the other night and pitching great for six solid innings and then getting pulled in the 7th.
Gotcha. And Cole Hamels, how are you feeling about that?
Great.
Wildly outperforming expectations.
Yeah.
You know what, though? You bring in a veteran like that once in a while. They get a change of scenery. They get a shot of adrenaline because, when you go to a team that's like the Rangers right now who aren't going to be there at the end of the year. We know that, right? All of a sudden you get thrust into a situation where, hey, this team's in contention. They've got a lot of attention to them. They have a packed house most nights. I'm not surprised.
He wanted to play.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised that kind of thing works, Pete, because I've seen it on our own side. I mean, Brecklyn, I'm not sure if you would remember this or not, but in 2002, the Cardinals brought over Chuck Finley from Cleveland and down the stretch, and he performed well. I mean, he took him into the playoffs, and he was one of the big keys. And we've seen this kind of thing happen many times. Look at Will Clark when he played for the Cardinals in 2000, guys. I mean, I put a picture up of that last week, but sometimes you can bring in guys like this that are with a team that's just kind of not going anywhere this year. It's pretty obvious. You put them in a playoff situation or a contender, and all of a sudden they can generate enough energy, enough adrenaline to perform like they were when they were at their peak for a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. So I'm not surprised. I mean, I think that was a good pickup by the Cubs. I thought it was more of an insurance move at the time, but he's looked really good. So I'd have to be happy about that if I were you guys. Now, how are you guys doing?
Well, actually, I purchased tickets for the South Bend Cubs game on Saturday because the boys with me this weekend. But apparently, I'm going to miss out on finding out how you are doing by one day because he'll be making a start on Sunday, and all signs are pointing to Sunday in South Bend. But still, we get to see probably the Cubs' top prospect in Miguel Amaya. And hopefully Jimmy Herron plays as well. So I'll get some firsthand experience with the young man who may be the catcher of the future for the Chicago Cubs.
Really?
Thank
I
you.
thought. Whoa!
Thank-
Hold on, wait.
And
What
that's
happened?
all thanks to
What happened? What happened?
Tim Hugh, correct?
I thought. Well, hold on. Contreras is young. What do you mean catcher of the future?
Apparently, Miguel Amaya can catch pitches and frame them well.
But
And
I
he's only-
thought
and he's
Contreras
only
was
18.
already going to be better than everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say what happened to this Contreras is better.
What happened?
I tell you what, based on what the pitching staff has done the last couple of years, and based on what the front office has targeted as their pitchers, the pitchers that they're looking for,
Yep.
guys who miss bats, guys like Hendricks, Lester, they rely on getting calls on the edge. Wilson Contreras is not going to help you get calls on the edge.
Okay.
So he basically has about 2 years to get it figured out, or Miguel Amaya is going to start.
Going to take over.
Is going to start stealing time from him.
And Contreras has been working on his framing. That's been like his
but it hasn't
number
gotten
one.
better.
Well, is he too angry to get better? Is that his problem?
No, apparently he's very coachable. I just think that maybe he just doesn't have the natural skill to do it. You know, he's got a great arm. I have a feeling he doesn't have the soft hands that are necessary to be a good catcher.
I think he's a Puig of catchers.
A good framing catcher.
I think he's a Puig just behind a catcher's mask.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you got a 2-game suspension today.
Puig is your
Yeah,
friend.
he did. You know who else got a 6-game suspension? The
Bullshit suspension.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So,
did we answer your question, by the way, Brecklyn?
Yeah, probably not.
You guys did, but Ron didn't. I want to know what Ron's thinking about.
Ron's not good at answering questions, Ron.
Yeah, I don't like it. I usually talk around things until people forget that they asked me. Go ahead, Brecklyn. Remind me with the question. I'll answer it to my best. Probably not, but go ahead.
Well, here, I'll change it a little bit because you were talking about people being brought up and everything. And our AAA starting rotation, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our entire AAA starting rotation at the beginning of this year is now in our major league club. And so I was wanting to know, how do you feel about the starting rotation that we have right now?
I really like what we have right now. I guess the one question I have on the starting rotation, well, tonight, I know that they started Luke Weaver tonight, and Luke Weaver is one that I wasn't that excited to see him start tonight, but I get why they did it. And I think this is another smart move by Mike Schilt to look, we've already won 3 out of 4 games against Washington. And even though Washington's down, they're not meeting expectations. They're underperforming. We all get that.
You're welcome. David Bodie broke them. You're welcome.
He did. He did. He damn did. He damn did. You're right, Pete.
Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
But still, a 4-game series against Nationals on paper, if you can sweep a 4-game series, that's, okay.
That's happen.
Probably not going to happen most often. But it's not going to happen tonight, I don't think.
5-4 with
bottom of the 9th, 2 outs.
Yeah, nobody on. Yeah. Okay. Well, fine. You know what? Streak was going to end. Like I said earlier, I'd rather have it end now rather than Milwaukee tomorrow night. I'd rather kick the shit out of Milwaukee tomorrow night. I'll be happy. But how do I feel about this rotation? I actually love what I've seen. Jack Flaherty should have been up with them at the beginning of the year. Never should have been in AAA this year at all. He's been one of their best, if not their best pitcher, most consistent all year long. So Jack Flaherty, no question. About their rotation right now, Austin Gomber got a start last night and was really good. I mean, he pitched 6 really strong innings. I would like to see him stick there as well. Daniel Ponce de Leon, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he had that one near no-hitter. He's been really good out of the bullpen. The Cardinals need a lot of help in the bullpen. We all know the woes there, right? But especially in early mid relief, we know how it's been real shaky. But I'm kind of him and Gomber. I go back and forth. I'm like, look, if these guys if they're going to peg them as starters, I'm really fine with that. If they're going to put them as long relief or somewhere in the middle, I'm fine with that too. I really like seeing Gomber start because I think the Cardinals need a lefty in that rotation, and they potentially have it with him. And I think long term, that's what he's going to be. Daniel Ponce de Leon, I think, unfortunately, I think he's probably going to end up in the bullpen long term. I think that's probably where they're going to need him the most. I tell you what, though, Brecklyn, I'm shocked. I know it's not answering your question at all, but I'm shocked that Carlos Martinez, they've already, you know what, you're going to be in the bullpen when you come back off the DL. And I'll agree with Bernie on this point this week, is that the Cardinals, the exception of Hicks and Norris, who've been really good this year, they don't have another guy out in that bullpen that can potentially strike people out, shut them down. They don't have a lot of power out there. Hicks has a power arm, but he doesn't have a high strikeout rate. So Martinez, if he can find his form, can actually be really useful and effective out of that bullpen. But I really love this Cardinals rotation now. Gant, I still a little shaky on Gant, but he's proved me wrong last 2 times I've questioned him going out there and making a start. So I hope that continues. Luke Weaver, I'm not sure what to think about him, and I'd be interested in your opinion on Luke Weaver.
Oh, that was a question I was hoping you weren't going to ask me because.
Well, I just did.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to feel about
Brecklyn just talk about it and then throw Star Wars out there and he'll forget.
Yeah, you throw a Star Wars reference, I'm done.
Well, it kind of goes back. Remember how I was saying that you shouldn't have to worry about the manager? I think that there's some pitchers, and whenever they go out there, you're not going to worry about them as much. I mean, For me personally, I don't worry about Jack Flaherty. Right now, he's one of my favorite pitchers that we have. Luke Weaver is not one of those people that I'm like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable with that. I'm just not sold on it. I don't.
Yeah.
He's never going to have a start where I'm like, oh, this is going to be fine. Well, I shouldn't say never because maybe, he'll make some improvements. But
if he shaves off that 12-year-old mustache, I'd feel better. Pete, you want to say something about it? Go ahead. He said at him. He exits.
He went and hid because he knew.
I told you I'm getting sick, and I didn't want to blow my nose on.
Hey, wasn't it our very first show you threw up right before it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Might have been.
Oh, and here you guys made fun of me for being nervous.
No, it wasn't nervous.
It wasn't nervous. He was actually sick.
Oh, well, that's great timing, I guess.
He was on and everything. He's like, I just threw up. I'm like, okay, let's go.
And wasn't it one of Elliott's first several shows where he was hacking and coughing? We actually got comments on the show afterwards. I hope that guy's still alive.
Yeah, I had gotten.
Problem is Elliott doesn't have the mic I got him doesn't have a mute button on it.
Right.
You use the software mute on Google Hangouts. Come on.
Well, sometimes
actually I have the ability to shut you all down if I want to.
Yes, we know, and we know you love to do that.
I didn't play nice. That wasn't ever stipulated.
Ron doesn't play nice ever.
Oh, right.
I'm a pretty nice guy. Except for you two assholes.
That's right.
All right, guys. Fuck you, Joe. That's a very shortened clip. You need to extend that one. I like that clip.
I know.
I actually want you to get the oh gosh, what's the old guy that the pitcher?
Oh yeah. Which clip?
When he starts walking out and said, "Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill." I forgot his name. I forgot the character's name.
Yeah, I'll get it.
That's the one. Brecklyn, are you a fan of Major League? Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it.
First Assignment.
First Assignment.
Watch Major League.
Your guys' heart's gonna be broken. I actually just watched The Sandlot for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. When it comes to movies that you're supposed to see, I'm really bad at checking those off the list.
All right, let's run through it. Bull Durham.
Oh, don't do. It's just all gonna be no.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Have to be in English for me to understand it.
Yes.
Very good. Bull Durham. You're right.
No.
Field of Dreams.
Yes.
8 Men Out.
No.
One of the best, by the way.
Obviously not Major League.
No.
Which is the best?
Yes to Sandlot and yes to For the Love of the Game.
For the Love of the Game. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Oh, that is not a good one.
I didn't say it was a good one. I'm just trying to figure out her pop culture knowledge.
Brecklyn, you can bypass that one. Rookie of the Year is total shit. It's a Cub. it's a Cub kid. You don't have to watch it.
As a Cub kid. Oh.
Trouble with the Curve.
What?
That's not a bad movie.
Trouble with the Curve.
Yes, I watched that the other day, and I was.
Damn, garage is shrinking.
What?
Clint Eastwood is a bad impression. I'm sorry.
No, I was watching Trouble with the Curve the other day, and I was messaging somebody, and the entire time I was so distracted. I was just like, I love this movie over and over again.
Scotty just flew out to center. Game over.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Yeah. and I wouldn't have been able to see it anyway.
Oh, there it is.
Why not? Oh, you're in Washington.
I'm in Washington territory. I mean, Charlotte, North Carolina, man, it's amazing. It's a geographical anomaly how many teams can claim territory over this. Cincinnati, Brecklyn.
Wow.
7-hour drive, and this is their sports territory. They
Yeah, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Washington, Atlanta.
Atlanta's the only one it makes sense to me.
Yeah. It's 3.5 hours away from Charlotte.
Right. If you step on it.
So it makes sense. Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati make no freaking sense
they're
at all.
What do you guys think about the Facebook games and the games that are exclusively streamed there?
Ooh, good question. We haven't addressed that here, guys.
Stupid.
You're an old crotchety guy. You hate it.
No, it's stupid. They can't even put up a reliable feed, and to be able to do it, it's not.
You know what?
It's not intuitive. It should be. You go to Facebook, it's right there. You hit the button and it plays, and it doesn't work like that.
You know how many old people are just confused and pissed? Like they're looking, they're going to Fox Sports Midwest, their big remote control.
Okay,
like,
why should I watch it on Facebook when I can turn it on my TV with one?
I'd rather watch it on my 70-inch TV than my 5.5.
So question.
Yeah, that too.
Do you guys have a Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV?
No.
Any one of those?
You're getting into legal stuff?
Yeah.
No, I'm getting into no. So there is a Facebook video app that you can download for those, and then you can watch it on your TV.
Why?
There has been
watch it on my TV anyway.
I know.
Shut up.
There has been a couple of Milwaukee games that I've wanted to watch, and they were Facebook.
Why the hell did you want to watch Milwaukee?
Because I wanted to watch them lose. So I put it up on the TV through the Facebook video app on my Amazon Fire TV. So and it works great. So
yeah, but I can watch Cubs games on my NBC Sports app, and then I can switch over to Fox Sports Go, and I can watch the Cardinals lose 5-4 to the Nationals. So why wouldn't I do that? Why rely on Facebook?
You can kiss my ass tonight. How about that? How's that sound? Guys, let's go into it. Triple play.
Is this a triple play? You bet it is. The Cardinals with a triple play. The Scalzo gets the line drive, flips to second, and on to first.
I'll start.
Hey, by the way, there was a triple play today.
I don't care. I'm starting this segment.
Just saying.
The DH. It's eventually going to come. We've faced changes in baseball before. We were all used to the NL East and West, and all of a sudden the Central got introduced. And along with that, we had interleague play. Now, at the time, I was younger, but I was still like, what the hell? How's this going to feel? What's this going to be like? When they eventually introduced the DH to the National League, which I believe is inevitable now, guys, how many years is it going to take for us to be like, we forget about it, we don't bitch about it anymore?
2.
I still bitch about interleague play.
I like the DH. As much as I like the chess game that happens in the NL, I like the DH. I hate seeing pitchers stand up there.
No, you don't. You love seeing John Lester rake. And you loved, every time Jake Arrieta came up in a run-scoring position.
He's a goddamn mutant with a bat. Because when that guy hit a few home runs, he didn't look like a normal. He didn't look like a picture.
That's because he angered them out of the stadium.
He did. He was pissed. He pissed them out of the stadium.
Both him and Madison Bumgarner actually.
Bumgarner.
And Scherzer, they all angered them. They anger all those home runs.
Don't you love players that get so angry they anger results?
Hey, also, speaking of Scherzer, how about those grunts on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball?
They need to get their field mic levels set because it's not just that game. It's all the time.
Yeah. You hear a lot of stuff that you probably shouldn't hear on the baseball
you don't
field.
hear in most other games. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Neighbors are going to start wondering if you really are watching baseball in there.
Oh, believe me.
I mean, seriously.
All I'm doing is watching baseball.
it sounded like a freaking tennis match. I was wondering if I was watching Monica Seles play. I mean,
Wow, deep pull.
Wow. Oh, that's a good one, Elliot. Brecklyn, do you know what he's talking about? Like Monica Seles? I mean, my goodness. If you didn't know any better, you would think that somebody's watching something else.
Oh God. I mean, you could turn the volume up and turn the TV off and be like, is this a porn I'm watching or is this tennis? Seriously.
Yes, that's what I was alluding to.
This is an all-time episode already.
This is yeah, here we go. Yeah, bad bottle rocket. All right.
So yeah, so I am for it. I'd like to see it. There'd be a lot of bitching in year 1, year 2. I think everybody is going to be past it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's what it would feel like. I mean, as much as it kind of goes against the grain of how I feel right now, because I like the strategy too. I think that it'd be like interleague play. It'd be like having 3 divisions versus 4, or sorry, 6 divisions versus 4 that we're used to. But
that's the only thing that kind of like worries me about bringing the DH to the NL is the switch in the divisions, because
that's inevitable.
I know that.
Yeah, it is. But I tell you what, guys. I mean, baseball runs the risk, like any other sports organization, that you make a division that's just like provolone cheese. Like nobody cares. Like you make a northern division that has like Minnesota and Seattle and Denver. Like you run the risk of making things really boring.
You can't spread them out over.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that because you've got
you can't have a Central, a Mountain, and a Pacific team all in one division.
Well, okay, guys. So you took me right, fine, but you know what I mean. Like you can cluster a Midwest, a Northern Midwest.
Oh, there's a ton
where it's like nobody
Minnesota,
cares.
Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago. Who else you'd be looking at? Cincinnati.
I thought you said the triple play segment was supposed to be like quick hits.
It is supposed to be.
All right, so since we've obviously ruined that.
Won't shut up.
No, let me ask you this, guys, because I think that speaking of interleague play, I, for one, have never been a fan of the Cardinals always playing the Royals every year due to this natural rivalry bullshit. Like, if we're going to do interleague, I think that like the East one year is going to play the West. Fine. The East plays the West. The East does not play any teams from the East. I hate that. How do you guys feel about that? Like, I don't care that the Cardinals play the Royals every year. In fact, that's actually a disservice to the West guys, because imagine being the NL West this year and saying, oh, thank you. I had 6 games against the Oakland A's. You had 6 games against the Royals.
Right.
Totally not fair. They need to do away with that natural rivalry shit between the AL and NL.
But I think that when they add 2 more teams and they split it up into 8 4-team divisions, you're going to get that. You're going to get a return to baseball before at least the way that it slots up. We may end up getting fewer regular season games, but I think you'll get a return to playing more games within your division and fewer, odd matchups. And I think that interleague play may become less of an issue because there'll be fewer games being played. But I agree. I hope that they rectify that so that the Cubs aren't playing 6 games against the White Sox while the Cards are playing 6 games.
Well, let me ask you two Cub fans though. Does anybody in Chicago care anymore? Like, you play the White Sox 6 games.
Depends on who you ask.
The White Sox fans care.
White Sox fans care.
You guys,
Cubs fans
you guys.
No. Seriously, Cubs fans don't give a shit.
We don't care.
It's the White Sox.
Brecklyn, let me ask you.
I'd rather play the Royals every year.
The only reason that Cubs fans care is if they have to play a particularly good White Sox team that year and they lose ground because the Cardinals are playing a shitty Royals team.
See, that's
the only time we care.
That's what I was going to bring up. Is it all kind of depends on how the teams are doing that season. I mean, the situation that the Royals are in right now, well, that's obviously not the same situation that they were in 2015.
Right.
Yeah, it all depends on that. I really like it because I didn't grow up in St. Louis. I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, and there was a lot of Royals fans, a lot of Cardinals fans, and it's fun. I mean, I understand completely what you're saying. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, I love being able to go to a baseball game and gathering up the people that you have as local fans and kind of having that rivalry that's there. The Royals-Cardinals game was the first MLB game that I ever went to. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just sentimental towards it. Maybe I've just got a little spot in my heart. But personally, I think the entire point of the game is to have fun. And if you can't have little games like that where it's Chicago versus Chicago or Missouri versus Missouri, then I don't know. Why not? You never know how each team is going to do each season, so just play.
Yeah,
I respect that.
I absolutely respect that, Brecklyn, but I think that what it is for me is knowing that the team's schedules are not the same. And so it kind of throws out the assessment of which team's record is better. You know, if the Cubs beat the Cardinals by one game because they got to play 6 games against the dog shit White Sox this year, right? I absolutely would understand if Cardinals fans were a little chafed about
if they played 6 games against the 2015 Royals.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. And that's my only issue with it too, is while you come from an area, I understand Brecklyn, where it was probably next between Royals because it is Western Missouri and Kansas City. I know somebody corrected me on Facebook and they circled it and say, the Kansas City Royals are actually in Missouri. I'm like, yes, I get it.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't catch that was me, Ron.
Wasn't that you? And you circled? Is that you?
No, but you would have believed it if I had gone on to it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would make a fake account just to
troll you.
Right. But no, I get it because I came from a split 50-50 population of Cubs Cardinals fans. So I've lived this damn thing my whole life, right? I mean, you have family members that are Cub fans, which I never forgive them for. And you have, half your classmates, half your little league team. I mean, it was always 50-50. It's been a terrible life.
It's been
a terrible life. That's why I moved to Charlotte and I still can't get away from these guys.
That's by choice. Can't get away from us by choice.
Well,
then I have 2 Cubs co-hosts on the podcast. I still can't get enough.
I was going to say, I'm kind of the oddball in my family because I grew up a football fan, NFL all the way. I mean, I didn't even touch college ball.
Chiefs?
Chiefs. Hardcore Kansas City Chiefs fan. But with that, so with my family being a football fans, I would always see Kauffman Stadium for everything. And I ended up choosing the Cardinals, not because my family was about the Cardinals or I had friends that were about the Cardinals, but just because that's the team that I chose for the reasons that I did. And I ended up learning not too long ago that my dad was a Royals fan back in the day. And so I think it's really adorable. My family, upon hearing about the different stuff that I'm doing for Birds on the Black and things like that, they've started trying to get back into baseball to have conversations with me. But my dad is sticking to that Royals side. And I'm like, no.
You know what? Hey, Brecklyn, I got a suggestion for you. Next family event, you go home.
Yeah.
Get a Royals jersey. Just follow me here. And put Denkinger on the back as the player name. That's the umpire that blew the call in 1985. That cost the Cardinals what would have been, what would have totaled in the end, their 12th title. Just do it and see if your dad recognizes it.
I don't know. I think that when they ran that by the MLB offices, I think that they said that it was an acceptable call.
Well, can we do this?
Come on.
Since we have replay, can we
acceptable?
Can we give a replay going back 20 years? Teams get 2 replays going back 20 years that overturns things.
Overturns things.
Pete, right? Are you referencing the Zobrist ball that he called the strike? And Zobrist said,
or the
this
no
is the reason why players want robot umps.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. Oh shit! How did we forget that topic? Zobrist. Yes, that is fantastic. Because I don't know how you guys feel, Brecklyn. I want you to answer this too. Is are these guys behind the plate going to be replaced by lasers? I think they are.
I don't know that they'll be replaced by lasers. But
you think there'll be a guy back there, but
There'll be a guy back there, and you may have a limited number of appeals.
Yes, I think they'll do 2. Like in certain situations, they'll say, "Okay, this is the top of the first. We're not going to argue it with nobody on base. We're gonna take this one." So,
but in a key situation in a game like 7th, 8th, 9th inning, like somebody makes a borderline call. I mean, I you know what? If we have challenges for all kinds of other shit, I mean, there really should be for balls and strikes. Right, Pete? How do you feel about this?
Well, it's kind of like tennis, where you've got the line where you can say where they've got the in-out call, where the players have a challenge, like
a John McEnroe challenge, or just like a normal.
What I would like to see, and this isn't just limited to baseball. I think this is the way it should be in all sports. If you challenge and you get it right, then you should be allowed to keep challenging.
Yeah.
It's like, you get 2 challenges or whatever. Hey, you know what? If you saw the right call and the umpire screwed it up and you challenge it and they fix it, why are you being penalized by not being able to challenge it again? Isn't the goal to get it right?
Yeah, and in football, Pete, you notice other teams, like take a Belichick team, right? If there's a questionable call, how quick do you think he gets his offense back up to that line?
Oh, yeah.
Like
super quick.
Yeah.
Right. So Brecklyn, same question. I mean, balls and strikes. Should you be able to challenge at least 1 or 2 of those a game?
Well, actually, with what he was just saying, that if you end up winning that challenge, then you should be able to challenge again. I really like that idea, actually, just to kind of throw my 2 cents in there. But I don't know. I think that's an interesting thing. I would like to be able to challenge balls and strikes, but you have to make sure you don't go crazy with it. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I think if you're able to do it too much, it'd get annoying. But
4-hour games.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I think pitchers should be able to do it too, or catchers, because there's a lot of times where these guys are like, "That was a strike," and they're running off the field, and the ump and the batter are just kind of standing up there like, "I didn't call it strike 3," and they're like, and it was definitely a strike.
Yeah,
I think they should be able to call that too, because you can't just rely on a batter who's got a great eye for the zone. You got to be able to rely on these guys behind the plate or the pitcher who that's what they're looking at constantly, that know when they are striking guys out. So,
well, even with the replays that we have now, they, in my opinion, don't even get it right half the time. So do you think it would just cause further frustration?
I think, yes, it will, but I think it'll probably make umpires do a better job. Angel Hernandez.
Speaking of which, did you hear
C.B. Buckner?
Did you hear the story of Joe West? What happened to him last night?
He is the best.
Did you hear the story?
No.
So last night, Joe West broke the record for most games umped in Major League Baseball. And he went out to celebrate. And the waiter at the restaurant gave him a menu in Braille.
Uh-oh.
That's amazing.
Hello, Braden. They tell him he's got to behave himself. There's a lady on.
Well, he can't hear you yet. Hang on.
What's your language?
So where did he go, Pete? Where was he at?
B. You're right.
I didn't find it, but it was wherever he's umping right now.
B. We're listening for you. We don't hear you yet. Take yourself off mute, son.
I don't bite.
Hold on. It's because I've got him on mute.
Got to be smarter than what you're working with.
All right. Son, sorry. I had you on mute. I had the dial down. Please.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you need to be polite.
Right.
There's a lady on the show.
There's a lady on the show.
Hi.
Hi. My main accomplishment
Totally doesn't care. He wants to spew his. All right. Go ahead.
From this national series is that Bryce Harper still sucks.
Why is that?
Because he's not good. He was frustrated in the outfield. He's gone, man. His team sucks. They're only 500. the only reason they won tonight is because Tyrone Ross is like some guy that looks drunk at a bar and they asked him to play baseball. Like he's not even. I don't even know why we picked him up.
It's probably how Dexter Fowler felt when he went to the Cardinals. That's why he played like he did in the first half of this season.
Well, I don't know, but
Shut up.
I'm just so happy that Harrison Bader dove and caught that ball against Bryce Harper. Yeah, he hit 1 home run, but he's still 1 for 4. And it doesn't mean he's good because Matt Carpenter's over here hitting bombs.
Matt Carpenter was 0 for 4 tonight.
Elliott, Yep.
Maybe Bryce Harper needs some Matt Carpenter salsa. But
Matt Carpenter salsa.
So
because he needs help because Bryce Harper sucks.
Braden, you not have a shirt on?
He's leaving the Nationals.
Hey, what, son? Wait, stop. You're calling me. Where are you calling me from? Why do you have no clothes on?
Oh no!
I do. I have my boxers on.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a lady on the show, Ron.
Brecklyn, this is my teenager. All right. So, any other observations from tonight?
Well,
just leave it to tonight. Please don't leave it to.
At least we came back and scored a couple of runs. We probably should have won the game, but I mean,
yeah, well, you can't.
I mean, at least we had a good run, but we might make the playoffs. That's good.
Yeah, I think we will
maybe,
too.
but
yeah,
I'm so happy that we shut down Bryce Harper.
Hey,
pretty much.
B.
Go ahead.
Bryce Harper went 7 for 17 in the series.
Hey, but Harrison Bader robbed him a base hit. That's all I need.
Pete,
that's shut down in my vocabulary.
I'm undefeated, never lost.
He hit 412 against you guys in the series. He went 3 for 5 tonight and drove in 3 runs. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't watch tonight's game, so that's out of my mind.
Yeah, that's
I'm undefeated, never lost.
Well, I saw Harrison Bader robbing, and I was like, oh, that's it. He still sucks. I don't care what else happens. The Cubs, I wouldn't even care if they got Bryce Harper. Go get him. Waste money.
Hey, no. Everybody's just slapping it back and forth.
Waste money. They can waste all the money they want.
Stop that.
I'm undefeated, never lost.
I'd rather them get Bryce Harper than Manny Machado.
He doesn't care what else.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Bray, this is your new exit music. You ready?
Thanks for calling in, Braden.
Nice to meet you.
Why did you talk like that? Not you, Brecklyn. You, Elliott. Why did you go?
Who do we face next? The Brewers?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Brewers.
Get up for that thing.
Yes, the Brewers.
There you go. Here you go, B. All right.
We're about to make the playoffs.
You don't have any Aretha tonight?
I don't.
NLCS, but we're not going to make it to the World Series, but we're probably going to make the playoffs. It's good, but we'll probably end up sucking in the last 10
He's still going to go. He's not going to quit.
I'm actually happy for once.
You are. You're jamming out. I like it. All right, boy. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right. See you, Pops.
Pops. Jesus Christ.
Pops.
Punk.
You might as well have called you old.
He did.
Yeah.
In his own way.
I had somebody tell me today, why did teenagers make their parents hate them? So when they move out of the house, it doesn't feel as bad.
Fact. All right. Hey, other topics, guys. DH lingered on for like 40 minutes.
No,
did.
actually, it lasted about 5.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the DH very long, so y'all got excited about other things.
We did. What, do I hit the exit triple play button now, Pete?
I got nothing. E, do you have one?
Mine was kind of a
Ground ball. Saddle steps on third. Over to second for one. Throw that ball. It's a triple play. A triple play. They pull it off. Oh, brothers. Saddle to Becker to Hickman. How about that?
So I guess not.
I guess not. No, I actually wanted to.
Oh no, it's over, man.
No, I'm still gonna pose this question because I wrote
That's
shit
fine.
down.
Go ahead.
David Bodie. I got to bring him up.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah,
So-
keep going.
I covered it last week.
Ground ball. Saddle steps on third. Over to second for one. Throw that ball. Ground ball. Saddle.
All right, fine. Sorry.
Sunday night was great. The guy is on a great run. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of like fan questions of, okay, time to get Addison Russell out of shortstop, put Javi at short, Zobrist at second, put Bodie in at third while KB is out. People want more Bodie. Now, here are the numbers right now.
Don't we all want just a little more Bodie?
We do. We want every Bodie in. That's what we want.
Boo.
Such a shit show.
Hey,
you know what?
You know what?
You know what?
I-
Does this make KB expendable? Can you trade him now? Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely not.
Why not? He's not doing shit for you right now. He's worthless. He's not
He's
worth
hurt.
anything. You know what? We can offer a couple pitchers
You know what?
like
This is kind of like the same people who are writing Matt
Brecklyn,
Carpenter
how would you
off
like
at
to
the
see
beginning
Chris
of the
Bryant
season.
in a Cardinal uniform at third base?
Oh, no.
What?
No thanks.
Ron, can you just please go on to a 15-minute disquisition of
No.
Chris Bryant's dreamy blue eyes so I can go get another
Ocean blues. Ocean blue eyes.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I can't. I just can't.
He's
He's a
already
Cub.
had an
He's a Cub.
MVP.
You can't do it.
Well, it's
Gold-
not that. I would take
Golden
Tommy
Spikes, MVP. The guy is great at what he does. He's a great baseball player.
He is
Yeah.
a great baseball player. To be honest with you, I just don't know who I would want to get rid of to take him.
I would move Carpenter to first, Chris Bryant at third. Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
That's it. That's it.
Carpenter's been playing first.
Sign it up right now. What? Who?
Carpenter has been playing first.
Yeah, but Jerko is what you're
Okay.
referring to now. Like Jerko. Yeah, Chris Bryant or Jerko. Yeah, I'm doing Chris Bryant all day long.
Yeah,
day
there's
long.
another one.
Thank
Ron,
you.
this is
Yeah, I
beautiful.
know.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm just hearing it right now. Ocean
I'm
blue
ready.
eyes. I'm doing Chris Bryant all day long. Oh, Ron. Thank you.
Oh boy. All right. I need a vocal coach.
Cut that one out.
Oh, it's already cut.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry, Brecklyn.
So anyways,
I'm pretty sure you knew what you were signing up for tonight.
Yeah.
so my question is,
Yeah.
do you move Russell at the end of the season if Bodie continues on his pace? I mean, 81 at bats. So it's not a small sample size anymore. It's 81 at bats. He's got 14 runs, 27 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 11 base on balls.
And he killed the Nationals.
Yeah, it was
He killed
awesome.
the Nationals.
You got Russell 370 at bats. He's got 51 runs, 98 hits, 20 doubles, 1 triple, only 5 home runs, and only 37 RBIs, 37 base on balls. I mean, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you guys right now, but God, Bodie is looking like the real deal. And if you guys haven't, if you have a subscription to The Athletic and you're listening,
We do.
go read the article that Shadiv Sharma and
Sahadev. Say it.
Sahadev
Sahadev.
Dave.
Sharma.
There you go. Sahadev Sharma.
It's a great it's a great article about David Bodie, and then Ken Rosenthal also wrote another article about him too, and what he's been through and what the changes he made when he was down in the minor leagues. It's a great story, and I The dude is number one in. I know you guys hate the velocity off the bat. I know people hate this, but
don't say
he is number one over Stanton, over Judge. The guy's average.
What?
Small sample size.
Again, yes. Only 81 at bats.
Don't you love having your own teammate on the show? Just like
small sample size.
But still, the guy crushed
not a big
the ball.
sample size, Elliott. It's not big.
Is that what ladies tell you?
It's small.
But he was still doing it in the minor leagues. And so, anyways, would you make this change?
Pete.
No.
Please.
No, not until you know what you really have.
You wouldn't move Addison? I'd move Addison.
Based on half a season of Bodie, no. I would want to see more out of it. If you could sign Machado, yes, then you move Addison Russell.
You sound totally like Mozeliak. You do. Well, if you think about it,
do I need to go get a bow tie?
We should probably evaluate a little longer and kick the can down the road before we actually make a move. That about he disappeared. Look at him.
He did.
He retreated.
I mean, I test for me is I maybe bench Russell for a bit. You throw him on the bench for a week. You put David Bodie in there for.
Well, boil it down real simple, Elliott. Do you have confidence that Addison Russell is going to be your lockdown, knockout shortstop?
No. I mean,
well, there you go. Just stop right there. Stop right there. Just
I know. He showed signs of it, then he's reverted. And it makes me uncomfortable.
Brecklyn, what Cardinal players do we feel the same way about? Like, okay, we've got just go from like not catcher. We know who our catcher is.
Yeah.
Start from third base all the way over to first. Like, who like, okay, we may have a short sample size of games where guys have looked really good, but like, who are our, like, no doubt, like, this guy's going to be there? Go from third to first.
Well, I mean, I don't really know how you want me to answer this because it changes for everyone, but it depends on who you ask. I mean, we were just talking about Colton Wong, how he's been picking it up. I think that Colton Wong should stay. Oh, you're rolling your eyes? You don't like Colton?
No. I love Colton. No, I wanted him to break out this year. I really wanted him to establish himself as like that's our second baseman guy.
Ron's a big Wong guy.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't know who would be best at third.
Yeah, that's a huge question mark right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what to tell you, and I'm not gonna pretend like I have an answer for you. I like Wong. Okay?
No, we won't do that. All right. So, hey guys, I think we've exhausted the topics tonight.
You think so?
Well, unless you got another one in your salvo, Pete.
I don't. You need me to take it out? Is that what you're saying?
Pete, tell everybody where they can find us when they're not listening to us right now.
I will. When we're not live on YouTube, you can find us at teamofrivalspodcast.com. We're on Facebook at Team of Rivals Podcast and on Twitter at Team of Rivals Pod. We're also on Instagram at Team of Rivals Podcast. You can contact us directly at the show at teamofrivalspodcast.com. You can contact Elliott on Twitter at
TOR_Elliott.
And you can catch us anywhere you listen to podcasts: iTunes, Radio Public, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, and Google Play. Obviously, our preference is Radio Public because when you do listen, throw a couple of pennies our way. And of course, don't forget to go to the website, click the link at the top of the page, and visit the team store on Zazzle.
All right, Brecklyn, Birds on the Black, where can everybody find you?
Yes, I'm going to take a split second to talk about all this stuff. So, a few people that you need to follow, but at Birds on the Black for Twitter, check out our site, birdsontheblack.com, Facebook, same name, Instagram, same, just Birds on the Black. Make sure you go out and give Cardinals Gifts a follow. He's the one that does most of our graphic art and all the designs, cover photos, things like that. He's an amazingly talented guy. Go and give him a follow because a lot of times he will get some stuff out and then we'll share that onto the page and back and forth. Tara Woolman. Also, if you go onto our site for Birds on the Black, check out our members only section. You can find some exclusive wallpapers, some of them that have the schedules on there, but you'll also find some exclusive content. STL Cards just put an article up there that you should really check out about this MVP race that's going on. Can't tell you what it's about. To join to be a member, it's completely free. But then you'll also be getting a weekly newsletter update that'll get you all of our stories, Prospects After Dark updates, things from Zach Gifford, Tara Wellman. It's just a wealth of really talented and creative people. So like I said, birdsontheblack.com, at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, a lot of fun stuff. What are you doing? Okay.
I'm helping out. Hey, go to birdsontheblack.com, get one of these sweet things right here. I love wearing that.
I was gonna say, I'm repping my hat today. We've got beanies and stuff. I know Tara was talking about in her Periscope earlier, what we call a pregame Terrascope, that she's trying to get one of her.
I like that. Terrascope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These people are clever. But if you follow Tara Wellman on Twitter, which is at Tara Wellman, during the games, she'll end up tweeting out stuff like a player's name, buddy, pal. That's like her thing. And we're going to try to get some more merch that's up there where maybe it's her thing. She's kind of trying to talk to Gifts about it.
Yep.
But yeah, we got our merch store, all kinds of stuff going on. And I think we are also looking for a charity to be able to donate some of our proceeds to from that merch store. So if there's any suggestions or anything, reach out to Cardinals Gifts on Twitter or the Contact Us page on birdsontheblack.com.
I heard the Anthony Rizzo Foundation is a really good charity.
We'll keep that in mind.
Right. No, Cardinals Gifts is great. I love the artwork they do for all the shows and all the posts and everything. So it really is fantastic. So, Brecklyn, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to join us on the show. I know this one is the little one of the more awkward ones we have out on the Cardinals Nation group, but thrilled that you were able to join us tonight.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. You've been fun.
And love that you're sporting the Team Arrivals threads. That's great.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice gentleman sent it to me. So.
That's right. Pete, Elliott, hey, we're going to do this again next week, right?
As far as I know.
Absolutely.
Why would it be any different? All right. Hope the race is flipped over a little bit next week, and the Cardinals are in the playoff hunt. Not playoff hunt, but I hope they're secure one of those wild card spots. They're right there. They're on the doorstep. And so I think next week will be a lot of fun. All right, everyone. Talk to you all next week. Same time, same place. Bye, everyone.